Welcome to the IBJJF online rules course. In this video, we'll be discussing serious fouls. Fouls are disciplinary or technical infractions addressed in the rules that are committed by athletes before, during, or after a match. In the next sequence of videos, we will be showing you many of the situations in which an athlete will be penalized from a serious foul. When the athlete kneels, sits, or pulls guard, remaining in the position without the establishment of a grip. Here is another example for better understanding this concept. When a standing athlete flees out of bounds of the match area, avoiding combat with the opponent. When a standing athlete pushes their opponent to outside the match area without clear intent of attempting a submission or scoring. When an athlete on the ground evades combat by sliding themselves outside of the match area. When an athlete on the ground stands to escape combat and does not return to the combat on the ground. When an athlete breaks the grip of the opponent pulling guard and does not return to the combat on the ground. When an athlete intentionally removes their own gi or belt, causing the match to be stopped. When an athlete grabs the opening of the opponent's sleeve or pant leg with the fingers placed inside the garment, even if performing a sweep or any other maneuver. In this case, the referee will reconstruct the position with a legal grip undone and restart the match. In this scenario, when the athlete makes an illegal grip in a submission attempt, the match will restart standing with a single penalty given to the athlete that made the illegal grip. When an athlete grabs the inside of the opponent's gi top or pants. Or when the athlete steps inside the gi jacket. Or when the athlete passes a hand through the inside of the opponent's gi to grip the external part of the gi. When an athlete communicates with someone, orally or through gestures, in a manner that contradicts the decision made by the referee. When an athlete disobeys a referee order. When an athlete exits the mat area after a match but before the referee has announced the result. When the athlete deliberately runs away from the fight area to avoid an inferior position or consolidation of the opponent's score. Exclusively in this case, the referee must mark the athlete who fled the match area with a penalty, award their opponent with 2 points on the scoreboard, and the match will restart from standing position. The marked penalty must follow the sequence of penalties. Here is another example to help clarify this concept. When an athlete in a stabilized position deliberately flees the match area, the referee will interrupt the fight, apply the corresponding penalty, and restart the fight in the same position that they were. When an athlete places a hand or foot on their opponent's face. When an athlete intentionally places their foot in their opponent's belt. When an athlete purposely places their foot on the lapel of their opponent's gi without having a hand grip to provide traction for their foot. When an athlete places the foot in the lapel behind the opponent's neck, with or without gripping it. When an athlete runs around the match area and does not engage in combat. When an athlete unintentionally reacts in a way that places their opponent in an illegal position. When, in the under 15-year-old divisions for all belts and in all white belt age groups, an athlete jumps for close guard on a standing opponent, including any and all attacks initiated by jumping guard, such as but not limited to flying triangles and flying arm bars. When such moves occur, the referee will stand both athletes up again. Should one athlete be defending an attempted takedown or sweep and jump guard, the punishment shall include 2 points being awarded to the opponent. When an athlete, during a match or celebrating victory before being announced as the winner, exhibits attitudes not appropriate for the competition environment, but does not qualify as a disciplinary penalty as described in item 6.1. For example, gestures or exercises meant to suggest physical superiority, dances or attitudes meant to ridicule within a sporting context. For Jiu-Jitsu no-gi, when an athlete grabs hold of his/her uniform or that of his/her opponent in any way. When an athlete uses his or her own belt or the opponent's belt to assist in a choke or any other circumstance in a match while the belt is untied. When an athlete takes more than 20 seconds to readjust their uniform, they shall be penalized in a consecutive manner. 20 seconds for gi top and belt, 20 seconds for identification belt, and 20 seconds for tying the drawstring of the pants when necessary. If you have any questions or concerns regarding serious fouls, visit ibjjf.com/rules.